Okay, so I need to finish this detail off now with some notes. And if you're not already aware, notes are the thing that differentiates the amateur from the professional drawings. And I used to be a drawing checker in a couple of offices, but one in particular, that was my job for most of the week, checking other people's drawings. And it was usually with the notes you would tell the people who were new from the ones who knew what they were doing. So usually it's, with details, a matter of doing too few when you don't have the experience and don't know what's important, and rather than too many. So it's very hard to go too far, but easy to not do enough. And notes explain a lot of things that are either difficult or impossible to explain by drawing. So again, really important, and so I'm just going to get the right detail up again. I've gone to a different page. Sorry. And what I should have actually pointed out as well when I was showing you this was a 3D view of the detail, because I just assume that everyone has seen these before, but of course it's not the case. And now I'm struggling to find that same detail. Does anyone remember the page number? 42? Great, thanks. Oh, yeah, but it's close. $48, there we are. Okay, so we don't need too many notes here anyway, luckily. And remember, you have to work out your own ceiling, so you may need to draw some of these things that are above the line of the ceiling as well.
This might be a stupid question. The wall,
yeah.
Does that need to be the length of the actual wall? So, like, the ceiling, and then do I need to extend this wall?
No, you're only going to show the top part of it.
Okay. So
But pretty much. But if you're doing it like me and drawing it over your main section, then it's going to be that length, but you're only going to show part of it. And I'm going to set that up now anyway. So I've got the model tab open there, and I'm going to do some of the text here, and then I'll switch over to a sheet and do the cropping there, and I'll do some more text there as well.
So why are you doing some text in model tab?
Just to show you how to do it both ways. And it's good to know how to do it in both ways. It's up to you. There are reasons for doing it both ways. Pretty much, yeah. There are reasons for doing it both ways. Yeah. Well, it doesn't. The scale will work either way, but it really just comes down to practicalities. In the model tab, you can easily copy things from one detail to another, and work on a series of things without switching between views, so that can make it easier. But then when you're working on the sheet, you've got a better idea how the text is going to fit in with that particular view in relation to other things on the sheet. So there are reasons for doing it both ways.
Reality, working on a real project, and a big project, you probably have some text in the model space,
Yep.
and other text that's just be...
Yeah, and it doesn't make a difference where you do it, because it comes up the same way no matter how you've made it. It comes up on the sheet. So, but what you do need to set and have an awareness of before you start making the text is still your scale. No matter which way you're doing it, you do need to have an idea of that first. You can change it later, but it's a bit of work. So it's better if you know the scale first, and we know our details are going to be 1 to 5. So first step for doing the text and any annotation, you should set the scale. If you're using annotative, use that scale option there.
So that just changes the text, it doesn't change
Yep.
the whole...
That's right, yeah. So it is only affecting annotation. Anything you've drawn with a certain size is going to stay that size. I'm going to change to my text layer, T notes. I've made one called T notes. Yep, if you you want to. Yeah.
And what line rate you want to
Just default. That's just an option for viewports. You don't need to change that. No, just leave that. You shouldn't, no. You don't want it frozen in your viewports, no. You can change it, you can change them. So just turn that setting off. Yeah, so where you are, that's right. But you can just finish making the layout. That setting won't affect what you're doing now. It's only when you go into a page. So you can just make the layer like normal. Just type in the name. Yep, and that's all you've got to do. Yep. So I've got my layer, and then I'm going to click on the down arrow next to annotation in that annotation panel. Okay, so now hopefully you're getting used to these options you have to make different styles for text, for dimensions, and then the next one you might not have done so much is for leaders. So just clicking on the down arrow next to annotation. So that's an important one for all of these annotation elements.
I don't have that new. I have the standard. Annotated standard.
No, don't worry about what's in there. Just make sure you've seen these buttons here. Don't worry about the settings. I've done all of that. So again, you just need to know these settings. You should be starting to get familiar with those. So again, the annotation panel here gives you the option for making all of the different styles for all of your annotation. And so again, you should have some idea about text styles. I'll do that again though. And then dimension styles. And then the next one down is leader styles. Multi-leaders. Multi-leaders are just leaders. So then the last one is table style. And do you remember doing tables in, when was it, CAD 1? Have you ever needed to use them since then? No. Maybe occasionally. If you want to do a fixed, yeah, they are. They're tedious. I've never found them to work well. Yeah, in AutoCAD they've never really been that good. And it's only if you need to really need to do something like a schedule on a drawing, and even if you need to do that, there are other ways. So maybe table styles aren't so important, but the others are all really important. So text style again, dimension style, and leader style. Now I've made some already, but I'm going to make them again and show you how to do that. So first thing, I'm going to go into my text style. So that's the first button there, the one with the letter A on it, and what is it, a paintbrush. And I already have quite a few different text styles that I could use here, but I'll make another one. Yeah, if you've already done this. Yeah. Yeah, you would have. Yeah. So you can just use one that you already have. And so here I've got one called Notes, and it's got Romans for the font. That's a very simple single line font. Yeah, no, you can make it. We did this earlier in the year, this semester, but you can just click the new button, give it a name, over on the right, other right.
And then if I highlight that, I can then select the font that I want.
Yep. So you can choose any font you want. These Roman fonts, Roman S and D, are fairly basic fonts, but you'll see what they look like down in the preview box anyway. Usually for things like notes and dimensions, you only need simple fonts. Then the important thing here, apart from the font, is that you tick annotative. Make sure that's ticked. Yeah, well, probably Roman S, yeah, is good because it's the simplest. S, Romans, yeah. No, there's one without any of those other things, just Roman S by itself. .shx. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah. Okay, so then the text height. So I'm making it 2.5, which is small, but not the smallest. You can go a little bit smaller than that. Yeah. Sort of getting towards medium, but yeah, that's okay. So 2 is about the smallest, and then 3.5 is medium.
That's actual size, real size.
Yeah, exactly. Millimetres. Yeah, that's right, exactly. Okay, so I've got my text style. I'm going to just click apply and then close or cancel, as long as you click apply. And yeah, so I should have said as well, if you don't click set current, it'll work if you click apply anyway. But if you'd made it before, just use set current instead of apply. Yeah. Makes it the current style, so you're using it. Yeah, you're going to draw text with that style. Yeah. So now I can just close down here, and I'm going to go and just quickly bring up my dimension styles. Because you should probably draw a couple of dimensions as well. So I'll click on the dimension style button. Just quickly go through the settings there. So, yeah, so you should have, hopefully you've got a style from before, but maybe I'll just go over the settings, the main settings, starting with one that you all have, which is ISO 25. And then I'm going to click New. You don't have ISO 25? Oh, you're using, you've got it marked for the desktop. So, yeah, so yours is a bit different, but that's okay, just use one of the others. No, you started with that for the desktop. So, yeah. So, just start with standard. So starting with that style, if you click the new button and then change the name to dim is fine. You only need one style. Yep. And then tick annotative and continue. I'm not going to explain all the settings, I'm just going to do this quickly. Yep, continue, and then, oh no, so then you need to change some settings here. So on the symbols and arrows tab, you can choose architectural tick for the first arrowhead, and it'll set the second automatically. Then you can go back to the lines tab. Yep, the first tab, the lines tab, and then just put in these settings. So I'm just going to change the extend beyond dim lines to 1, and then offset from origin I'll make 5. Yep, 5. And then I'm going to tick fixed length extension lines and make that 20. Yes, yeah, tick fixed length extension lines, yep, and then make it 20, the length 20. And then I'm going to make extend beyond ticks in the dimension lines section at the top, 1 as well. Yep. So you can leave everything else. Then I'm going to go to the text tab and simply choose dim from the list of text styles. Oh no, so you won't have that. So I'll click the browse button, instead. Yep. So that, the button, the dots next to your text style name. And I'm going to click the new button and call it dim. and then OK. And then, yeah, so then make the height 0. Yep, just leave it at 0. Don't tick anything, and make the style, the font, well, you can make it whatever you like, but I'm going to make it the same as I just did with Roman S, simplex, just the S stands for simplex. And then apply, yeah, then you have to click apply, yeah, and then close. So then you can choose dim from the list. And then make the text height there 2.5. And then the final setting is on primary units. You can just set the decimal separator there to a period. And the precision above that to 0 with no decimal places. So the decimal separator is a period. The primary units. Yep. Yeah, decimal separator, period. And then precision above that 0. And then, but for angles, yep. So for angles, you should set a precision there. So I'll choose just one decimal place for now. Yeah. Bottom right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's it. That's a good general set of settings for your dimensions anytime you need to make a dimension style. That should work.
In the text tab,
Yeah.
I think you have fraction height scale 1, and mine is 0 to 7.5. I can't change that.
Which one? The
Fraction height scale.
oh, you just leave that. That doesn't matter.
Right, but
Yeah.
mine is 0 to 7.5.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Yeah. You're not using fractions, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, that's why it's greyed out. So that's it. Click OK, and then while you're in this, still here in this dialog box, set current. Oops, sorry, set current, and then close. So now I just want to make sure it's working. So I'm going to draw one, not with this dimension tool. Is anyone using that? I know a lot of people, maybe it's just my first year guys at the moment, are just using this one and not knowing what it does. It's good to play around with, and it does lots of really good things. So here I could use it, actually. Yeah, it's good sometimes, but it's also good to know that you have the main dimension tools next to that. The little button with the arrow. Yeah, so yeah, you've got linear, aligned, and so on. Yeah, oh yeah, close that. Yep. So I'm going to use linear here, and that way it won't, because sometimes it'll go into these other options when you don't want them to.
What's the difference between that and the
This one is more automatic. So you can do lots of different, you basically can do all of these things with that one tool, but it chooses things automatically for you. So here the linear tool is what I want, so I'm just going to choose it. This one does all of those. See how it's got angular, baseline, all those different options. Yeah. And so if you say pick a curve or something like that, it'll go into the radius or something. So here just can make it easier by choosing the one you want. So now I can just zoom in and put a dimension. Yeah, that's linear. So in Revit it would be aligned, but in AutoCAD linear. Yeah. So I'm just going to dimension from the top of my plasterboard to the ceiling and place it to one side. So it's working basically in a very basic way. It is working. We can at least read the text, and that's half the battle. But you might want to go and make some changes. These are really preferences more than anything, but it's still something that you might want to do. So now I'll go back to my dimension style, Well, first I'll ask you, what do you think's wrong there? What do you think maybe could be improved? Which lines? Yeah, they could be a little bit better, yeah, definitely could fix that. What about the text? Is that readable? Yeah, the size is okay, but the direction. So it should be horizontal. Vertical text is usually not good. And also the line coming out from this point here, that should probably be at an angle and be adjustable. So I want to put those things in. So I'm going to go to my dimension style again. And then dim is still selected, so I can just click modify. Yep. Okay, so you've got, on the text tab, the option to set the text always to be horizontal. Yep. Or this ISO standard option, which can be good as well. So notice how they're slightly different. So you can see in the preview the difference there between all of those. So here, this text would still be vertical. ISO standard's often good, actually. So I'll just show you, if I click close there, you can see this text is actually rotated, but that if it could fit in between, it would be vertical. So if I extend that, you'll see you do that. So it's kind of a good compromise. But then if I move the text now, you can see that it's locked. It's still a little bit locked. So it's okay, but you can make it better. So I'm going to go back in again and modify this style another time, and this time on the Fit tab, you've got the option there for your text placement to put it over the dimension line with a leader. With leader, yeah. So I'll just click OK now, and you can see then it's changed my text again. So it's giving me this leader, and I can now adjust the text without the dimension line moving. Works for both, yeah. Yeah, that's right. So then you can adjust it. So I'll just go back. That's how mine came in as well. And then when you select it, you'll get a grip on the text. So you've got to select the dimension first, and then you get these grips.
So just
click on the grip on the text, and then when you move it, you'll get the diagonal leader. Yep, so that's it. And yeah, so that can really help to make the text easier to read. Which option? No, you haven't got ISO. So ISO, yeah. ISO or horizontal, yeah. Okay, so that's all you need for dimensions, and you do have ISO. And then did you go to the text tab? Sorry, the next tab, the Fit tab, and then choose with leader. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so just go OK, and then you close. No, that's fine. Just close that. And then just select your text, and then see just the Revit. Try just moving it. So just select that line, and now so bring it down a bit. And now down to it.
But I don't get a.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so just click somewhere though, and so that's I don't think the least working. So just try going back to well, actually just right click, sorry, and then bring up properties, and then. Yeah, it's dim. It's like, yeah, that's fine. There's no rationalise there. Okay, so just have a look at the spelling. So I think it's all because of that template that again that you go back and modify. Then so here you just choose the top two. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so yeah. now it's horizontal, and yeah, so you can at least, yeah, so just to adjust it again, and, oh no, well, that's what you can see, that's not good, but yeah, just try that again. That's all okay. Yeah, so, yeah, that's okay. So just, yeah, okay, and then, yeah, that's fine. So close that, and then just try selecting it and turn auto off when you go to adjust it as well. Yeah. No, it's still trying to rotate, see, so, I don't bring it out to the left, there we go, that's it. Yep, there we go, that's it. So just, yeah, place
So
where it's
then
not
I
next to
can
that.
choose where
Yeah,
I
that's it, that's it. So just click somewhere just to get it to go off that. Yeah, there we go, that'll work. Okay, so that's done some of the setup for the next thing, which is the levers, and that's going to be new for everyone, I'd say. So I just wanted to make sure you had those settings though, because you need them now for the leader, particularly the text style. So with the annotation panel again, I'm going to now go to multi-leader style. And then click New and call it anything you like. My style, my leader style, whatever you want. And tick Annotative. Yep. 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 That's fine. Start with standard. Okay, so. Oh no, you won't have that option. So I just needed to change it so I can show you this. So then, yep, continue. Yep, and then go to the leave this tab for now, and you can go straight to the content tab and choose your default, your text style, so which is yep, sure. So that's fine. So just use dim. That's one you'll have. So you can choose the dim style, and then set the height, text height to 2.5, just like you did for the dimensions. And just make sure all the other settings there are the same. You shouldn't need to change anything else, but there might be something. So most of those settings should be all done already. No, and then go back to leader structure. And then, so make sure you've got the leader points, maximum leader points on 3. And all the other options there, particularly scale with annotative ticked. Yep, you should have that. Yep. So, yeah, landing distance 8. Yep. Yep. The landing distance. Set landing distance. Yep. So then back to leader format, and the only thing you might need to check there would be the arrowhead size. 4. Yep. And if you want to, you can choose a different arrow. You don't have to use the same as me. But I'm going to stick with this right angle leader arrow. Yep, 3.75, yep. Yep. That's it. So everything else should be the same. Straight for now. I'll leave it on. But if you're interested in doing curves, you've got the option to do splines, but we'll leave it on straight for now. That's it. So I'm going to just click OK now. And then set current, just to make sure it is the current style. Should be, but make sure. And then close, yep. No. Okay, so now I'm going to put in a note. I'm only going to do one. You can read the rest. So I'm lucky I don't have to type this in because I've got the PDF file open, and I can now go to Draw Leader by clicking on that button there in the annotation panel. So if you click on the arrow, you have options, but the first one there is all you need. So Leader, and I'm going to click a point where I want the arrowhead to start, and then I've zoomed out so that you can see the arrow. So I just copied the text just to save me doing some typing. Yeah. So I clicked on the leader button, and then I clicked a point where I want the arrowhead to go. So you can see then my line's trying to snap to right angles because I've got ortho on, so I'm going to turn ortho off, and you can see then that I can set the line to any angle. Okay, so I'm just going to get the arrowhead at the angle I want, and then click to put the end of my line in, and then I'm going to press Enter to finish the line. Notice it's put in that's the landing, if you're wondering what that setting was for. So you can type here, or if you copy something on the clipboard, Control V to paste. But I could have, of course, just typed that in. Yeah. The bead of gyprock sealant or closed cell from. So, so actually the bead of sealant is actually above that, sorry, so a bit hard to see there, but oh no, that is the bead. Okay, so this is the finished bead. Sorry, so I've got that note going to the wrong place. It's okay. So, okay, so to finish that text, I'll just click to one side, and now I can select that and click on the arrow, on the grip on the arrowhead, and move that to a different location. So it should actually be pointing to this area. And then I'm going to click on the other end of that line, and that will move the text box. Wherever you click. Yep. So if it's snapping to things, it can be a bit difficult. So sometimes it's better to turn Object Snap off completely, so that you can just click anywhere. Now, you can see there, it's getting a bit messy because the arrowhead's quite big and it's going over this line. It's not as bad as you might think because that line, remember, is actually a dash line. But even so, it's a little bit messy. So maybe, even though the arrowhead was right for 1 to 50 drawings and worked pretty well, with these details, it's maybe a little bit small, but again, it's a good chance to show you how to modify the leader.
So why is the arrow longer going that way than
Longer? What do you mean longer?
well,
No, that's just an optical illusion. It's the same. Yeah. So, yeah. So, if you go into the leader style, click Modify. And I'm just going to make the arrowhead smaller and change the size from 4 to 3. Don't worry if you don't see the arrowhead in the preview, that's just an error in the program. Yeah. Yeah. No. No. Okay, so you can see now it's made the arrowhead smaller. Oh yeah, just select the text box. Yeah, and then you need to double click in the text field to modify it. So double click on the text after that. Yeah. And then you get the arrow in the corner that you can use to stretch. Yeah. So you can move that. You can, left and right. You just got to move the cursor after you click. Click and drag, left and right. Yep, there we go. Okay, so I'm not going to show you all the other notes. You can all read those from the detail. But remember, this hasn't got enough notes. So the general rule of thumb when you're doing your notes is to note everything you've drawn. So what's not noted there? There are a few things. The ceiling, yeah, so that's right, yeah. So you'll need to draw those things in. I haven't drawn any of those things, but just looking at the wall. The plasterboard, that's right, so that should be noted. The stud, that should be noted. And the top plate, that should be noted. Even the ceiling, even that's got a note here. That's got a note, but then you've got the fixing and the, the big, yeah. Yeah. No, just, yeah. Attached by or fixed by, yeah. So then you would have sizes though in the specification. The thing we drew first. Yeah. It's a stud profile, but yeah, it's called top plate in that location. Okay, so that's drawing in the model tab. Now I'm going to switch to my sheet where you can see a viewport that I've made that shows that same detail. So all I wanted to show you there, it's not very much, just going to show you now if I click the paper button, so I've made the viewport active. So, well, this will only work if you already have you need a viewport with the detail. But hopefully you can do that. And then all I wanted to show you there is if I go to make a leader here, it should work exactly the same way. So maybe I'll note the plasterboard. And so the only thing I've done is made sure I'm in model space, so I've made the viewport active, and I can draw here. But you can see already why it might help to go back to...
You're drawing in model space, but
from papers, that's right. Yep, that's it. So I'm drawing on the page, on the layout. But already I've got an issue because I can't see outside the viewport. But I know I can easily switch back to here. There's the text I've just made. And I can just adjust it the way I've shown you just then. Sometimes it's a bit tricky with this. You've got to use a bit of trial and error, but it will eventually let you. Sorry? Yeah, go to the viewport, double click or click on the paper button, and then just zoom to fit. Double click with the wheel. Yeah, so double click with the wheel on your mouse, the middle button, the wheel. Yeah, double click. Double click. Yep, that's it. So, you've got to make it. So on your layouts, you've got to make viewports. But so I'll just show you one very last thing to finish off. You can all see that the two text objects I've done though are different styles. That's not because of anything that I've shown you. It's because I pasted it from another program. But I can always, when I'm editing it, change it to the size, the right size. Now, what's going on there? Oh, it's the font as well. I didn't check that. So here we are. So I'm just going to choose this. Definitely, yeah. That's right. That's a good trick, actually. Yeah, use Notepad to paste from, and it's better. Oh, this is so annoying. Okay, so it's been difficult, but I'll just show you the workaround. If you can't do it in the formatting tab, you can always go to properties, and that will just do a global. Right, there we go. Now that's working. It's fiddly, but it works in the end. It's better.
We've got two Viewports.
Yeah.
One's at 1 to 50 showing you the whole drawing.
Yep.
And then one's at 1 to 5 with just the detail.
Yep.
Mostly the one on the 1 to 50, you don't want your detail notes because it will cloud the 1 to 50.
That's right. That's right. But that's done automatically. So that's something you can see here actually. So I've got the that's a section, and I'll just get the same section that I've been working on. So that's the area that I've just been showing you. You can see there the notes don't show. It knows. That's the best thing about annotative. If you use that annotative method, then yeah, it does. Yeah. So if I set it to 1 to 5, it will automatically. But if I choose any other scale, yeah. So if I go to 1 to 50, I've got other notes that I've drawn at 1 to 50. They'll turn on in other views, but the 1 to 5. Yep, that's right. It records that. So, and that's another reason that you sometimes need to go back and do things in the model tab, because you can see everything there. So I can see all of this that was drawn for 1 to 5, but then I'll have other text like this that was done with the same leader style, but the only difference is I set the scale here to 1 to 50 before I made it. And that's a really good way of working, so you can see all the different notes and things for all the different scales here.
In model space, if you had annotations 1 to 5 and 1 to 50 right next to each other, you'd see both.
That's what I've got right there.
Here in paper space, if you see both.
That's right, that's right. So it sounds complicated when you try to explain it at first, but once you can see the practicalities or the practical advantages of it, it'll make a lot more sense. And you can see what you're saying exactly there. There's the big text from the 1 to 50, and then the small text from the 1 to 5. And there's even a trick, you can make them work for more than one scale, the same note. But at first, probably just one scale at a time is good. And so again, on my sheets, that's how I've done this. I've got all these different details, some of which might be at different scales, but the notes are all the same size. Yes, absolutely, that's right, spot on, that's right. The viewport should have the scale, the label for each view, in other words, should have the scale. I haven't put that in yet because it's still a work in progress, but you would always, in the end, have the scale below the name of each view. So this one is 1 to 10. Because usually you're going to have different scales on the same sheet. And so you can't just have the scale in the title block. So this one will be 1 to 5. Right, so that's it. Once you can work with all those annotation elements with scale, you can do pretty much everything that you need to with AutoCAD for 2D drawing.
So, you know how we set the text height at, this is the bit that I get the math bit.
Yeah.
So we set the text height at 2.5.
Yep.
The real size.
Yeah.
Real,
Yep. Yep.
and that's for a 1 to 5
Yep.
scale drawing.
Yep.
Is the final product, when you print it out, still 2.5?
Yep. Yep. And you can check that on the sheet here. This is the print size. So if I measure it, if I measure any text that I've just made using the measuring tape, I can see the size it's going to print. So
for a 1 to 50 drawing,
yep.
the annotations for that would be what size then?
2.5
Still 2.5.
times 50, so 125. And I'll prove that to you. So I've measured this here on the sheet, and we can see you can see 2.5 high. But if I then just switch to model and then measure it again, now watch out for that. it's trying to be clever and measuring measuring the paper size, but I'll just get a bit further away and stop it from doing that. There we are. So this is 1 to 5, so it's not going to be 125. It's going to be 2.5 times 5, which is 12 and a half. So there we are, 12 and a half. So a 1 to 50 viewport is probably a better example. So here, again on the page, so in paper space, it's 2.5. But when I switch to model and measure again, 125.
So regardless of what scale your drawings are,
Yep.
in the paper space, dimensions are always the same size.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's it. So again, that should be plenty for detailing. I know we've gone over time, but still that's good.